and it just was a lot bigger than what we expected it to be.
Not have an SD card. Rip.
Tragic. Welcome back to the Hags Podcast. Oh my gosh, it is episode 10, and we just shared our first clip edit for our crowdfunding campaign for the feature film Against Us. We literally just posted it, so we're feeling hyped up.
I'm fully washed out. I'm really trying with my lighting, but my webcam is horrible. It's really bad. We've spent. Oh, Jen.
I was just gonna say there's gonna be some upgrades to the podcast coming soon, so get very excited. Episode 10. We are 2 months and 2 weeks into this, and it's just gonna keep getting better. Thank you for everyone who's been supporting us so far, and we're excited to keep going. Jimmie, go ahead.
Yeah, we are. We're going full HD. We're going DSLR. We're going streamer mode. We're really revamping on the Hags Pod. So when all this lighting stuff that's happening on my end, done, gone. Next episode, potentially the episode after that. But
yeah, no, our next episode we will all be in person.
Oh, that is real tea. Yeah,
Our secret has been exposed. Surprise!
Flying all the way out to LA to do some hag stuff.
Speaking of airports, wanted to tell this quick story on our intro here. So, as I told you two yesterday, I did a little bit of running yesterday, right? 2 very quick bursts, and the first thing Jimmie said was, "Oh, you need to be careful." Right? And
yeah.
So I had to, long story short, for the listeners, I had to drive Alex to the Reagan Airport this morning in DC after driving him to the Baltimore airport and then picking him up from the Baltimore airport yesterday. You know, the outages, all that. Anyway, so I'm driving back from DC this morning, and my foot was so swollen that I had to yank my shoe off on 695 right outside of DC.
Oh my!
It was terrifying, and my foot was, I couldn't leave my shoe on because like I would have cut off the circulation.
Your right
it was
foot
just progressively swelling.
Thank God it was not my right foot. They were both swelling, but the left one was the problematic one.
Damn.
Yeah, like that little tiny bit. So all that to say, Jimmie, you were right.
I know. You don't need to be running. A brisk little walk. Just a little walk, get the arms going. That's all. That's it.
That's what I usually do.
Yeah, more.
I got excited, okay, and it felt really good, but
I know, I bet it did.
You should try a trampoline to get your energy out.
I saw yours, Jimmie.
Oh, that's Emily's.
And we have a story.
No!
I want a trampoline really bad. I just don't have anywhere to put it right now.
That's fair. Yeah, you should get one. It's great. Anyways, on to Jimmie's trampoline story.
We're doing upstairs neighbors activities. We were listening to music in full with our chest and knees, jumping.
The Eras Tour movie.
Yeah, jumping on that trampoline at midnight, thinking nothing of it. 4 people under us. So moving right along past that story.
No, we are getting the story out here. We have videos of it that we will be inserting if Jimmie doesn't want this taken out.
What happened?
I peed my pants.
Oh, literally?
No, literally.
Hey, you know what? We are women of a childbearing age. And your bladder, not to get too scientific, but your bladder,
she can't hang.
It's right on top of, to keep it PG, where you urinate out of. So.
Yeah. We were watching the Eras Tour movie, and she was jumping on the trampoline with the phone on herself. And then I just decided to pull my phone out, thinking nothing of it. And she turned. In my defense, I have none. No! I don't want to be on camera. Did you get that? On camera? Yes.
Was it a lot?
She turned it to us, and then she was singing, and then she just she made a face and crouched down and I peed my pants. And ran out. And we got it
There's
on
two
both
angles.
views. It was pretty good.
It happens. It happens.
Yep. And it happened during the one. So
The one
Yeah.
number one.
yeah.
And then she decided to post her jumping on the trampoline in her story, talking about her lymphatic system being drained. And our friend swiped up on her story and said that wasn't the only system that was drained.
For the jugular. Oh my god.
You
Yeah, I
know,
peed myself.
if it makes you feel any better, as the podcast listeners know, I was a cheerleader growing up, and you tumble. And when we would, when you got advanced into tumbling, you were jumping up really high. So a lot of the times, especially on the spring floor, when you're going to do like a tuck, a layout, a full, you pee a little. It happened to everyone.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
it's very
right.
normal.
Yep. So
You know what? I have no shame. I'm not carrying shame for a little pee. So
No.
no.
Yeah. It was a good experience for herself.
it brought the apartment closer, really.
Yeah, it did.
I am officially off probation.
Yay.
I can break the law and not have to worry about breaking my probation. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
break
let's
the
go
law.
do illegal.
I have been very legal and a law-abiding citizen for 2 years.
Too long.
Okay, too long. I'm ready to break free and go right back in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it feels crazy. I feel I posted that on my story about the DUI, just a little piece of it, of the story from the last pod. And I got so many people responding to me, talking to me about if they're going through something, or just people thanking me, or thanking me for being vulnerable and talking about it. And it made me feel really good, because I talk about it pretty openly with the people that I'm close to, but I don't like it felt uncomfortable sharing it online.
Mhm.
So yeah, she's off probation. And then this Friday, you don't know the, Cheyenne, but we're gonna go get Taiwanese food, and I have a party full event, and we're gonna do.
You didn't send it to Cheyenne.
I didn't. I was going to, and then I forgot, but I knew you were gonna come.
You're required to go to all of our plans, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't really think it's optional. So
Yeah, it's yeah.
We were just gonna leave you home. No biggie.
go explore.
Yeah.
But yeah, off probation. I was gonna say, oh, I went to the dentist. Okay, in Pasadena, and he tried to get me. He was looking at my teeth, assessing them, and then he started poking them, and he was like, "Have you thought about getting veneers?" I was like, "Veneers?"
That is the
What?
most Los Angeles thing I've ever heard in my life.
I was taken aback.
Mhm.
I just started laughing because I didn't even know what to say. I was like, "Are you serious?" And he was like, "Yeah," like pointing out all my cracks and chips and uneven. Like he was like, "If you just like, we could really get you at 100%. He's like, "Your smile's not great, but we could really get you there." And I was like, taken aback. Yeah, very LA, very
Mhm.
LA.
There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with your smile.
No,
You have like perfect teeth.
I know. I was like, veneers. It's not very expensive. Also, you have to Like drill down your own good teeth. No.
Ugh.
Yeah.
He just wanted to make money.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So anyway, real teeth, off probation. That's my life.
She's a thriving girly.
She is. Yeah. Okay.
Anything new with you, Emily?
Well, since I embarrassed Jimmie, I'll
Oh.
embarrass myself too.
Yeah.
So, so I'm doing a script from the 1970s in class, and I was doing a phone call scene on Wednesday, and they gave me an old phone to use in the scene.
Okay. I got to cut in. It was not an old phone. It was a phone with the press number. That's like a 2000s phone. It's not a dial up. It had the little press number. You know, the phones that we used as growing up.
Like a house phone?
Yes.
Yeah, and I held it wrong.
She said old phone.
I held it wrong for the whole first take, and they just let me die. And it was a serious scene too. And like as soon as I picked it up, my teacher and one of the students started laughing at me, and I was like, "What did I do wrong already? Why are they laughing at me?" I was like, "Am I sweating through my shirt?" I was like so self-conscious the whole first take. And then as soon as we cut, my teacher walked up and he was like, "This is why I'm scared for the future." And he picked it up and he was like, "Typical Gen Z move." And I didn't see what I did wrong still. So I was like trying to fight for myself. I was like, "How you hold a phone? That's how you hold a phone." And he was like, "Not like that." And someone was like, "Pick it up." And I picked it up and saw that there was another side to it where it had the speaker and the phone and the earpiece. And I was like,
this is why I'm worried about the future. Typical Gen Z move. It's called a telephone.
I was like, I just.
Was I the only one that saw that?
I saw that. I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
that's so weird.
Huh?
How you hold a telephone?
See, we don't
Not like that.
pick it up.
Oh my
There's
God.
an
Are you holding the whole thing?
backwards.
I thought it was a choice to like hold it out like this. It's like, what's it curved like that?
That's a very interesting acting show. Let's just call it an acting show.
gagged. Everyone was dying laughing at me. And my teacher was like, "You're lucky you're cute." Which is so backhanded.
She put the, you know how on the old phones they had the, I'm not even, it's not an old phone, the 2000s phone where it has the caller ID little piece and then you have like the speaker and the microphone. She did
Yeah.
it this way.
In my defense, I didn't know there was I thought it was one of those phones that like are blank on the backside and they sit in the little cradle thing, you know, the base. And I thought that it was like obviously screen side with buttons goes to your ear because I'm Gen Z, and I was brutally wrong. And he brought it up for the rest of the class, and I'll be made fun of it for the rest of my life. He even went, "Wait till Jimmie Waites gets a hold of this."
Jimmie Waites.
I know. And then someone was doing a scene from the 80s, and he went, "Won't ask Emily about that. She can't even hold a phone right."
Oh, yeah, you were the roast of the night, I fear.
Oh yeah, big time. It was rough. I died inside.
Wow. What?
Have you ever used a house phone?
Yeah.
No.
How are you calling people? In when you were a little, 8-year-old, like how are you calling your friends?
I had an iPad. And
You
You
called
had
your
an
friends?
iPad?
Yeah. I had an iPad mini that I would FaceTime my friends on, and then my mom's iPod Touch.
So you never had a house phone?
No. Like
That
when I
is
lived in
so crazy.
Australia, I think we had like one on the wall. And then like my parents had flip phones for like till I was like 5 or something.
That's so crazy. We had a house phone until I was in high school.
Same.
It was weird to get rid. I remember
Damn.
my mom was like, "We need to get rid of this. Like, we're just paying for something we're not using." And I was like, "We can't get rid of our house phone. Like, how are people gonna reach us?"
There's so much house phone lore that you probably have no idea about.
I know, sneaking
Mhm.
into my room to call people.
Hmm.
Like,
Or
I still remember my phone number.
listening in to other people while they're on the phone.
You could do
Yes.
that?
Hmm.
Have you seen Mean Girls?
Oh.
That was
There's a whole scene.
Oh, that's the three-way call. I'm talking like listening to your sibling.
Oh, when somebody else is on the house phone. Oh, yeah.
You could just pick the house phone up when someone's on the phone and hear everything. And they'd have no idea.
Damn.
The only time you could
Wait.
hear is if it was a little click, but you had to really be listening.
That makes so much more sense. And in the script too, there's a moment where I'm like on the phone with this guy I'm having a like sneaky relationship with, and then my mom calls, and then he like says, "Okay, goodbye, like operator," because she was acting to be an operator, and I was like, "Why the fuck is he saying bye to her? Like, how can she hear?"
That is so crazy.
Damn.
What did that is so crazy.
Also, anyone could look up your phone number
Oh,
from
anyone.
in the phone book. I had a
Yeah.
boy call my house in the 3rd grade, and he had looked my phone number up in the phone book.
That's scary.
People bought phone books to call people and to market to them on their
I
house
remember
phone.
seeing one of those one time. They were like
The phone
yellow,
book?
weren't they?
Yes, there you go, a yellow book.
Okay,
And then
cool.
they
I
had
knew
white
that.
books or
The
white
yellow
pages.
pages and the white pages.
Yeah, because white pages were businesses and yellow pages were right?
Or the other way around.
Or the other way. I can't remember.
If
But
you're a millennial or a Gen Xer who knows the answer to that question, feel free to comment below.
yeah. Emily makes me feel so old. But when I'm out at parties with her, people think we're the same age.
21.
That makes sense.
What?
We're getting likes. Okay, sorry.
Speaking of the post, for all the podcast watchers on YouTube, I'm going to insert it right here. And if you're a listener, you will get to hear it.
Back to the regularly scheduled podcast. After a minor phone distraction.
My question for Emily was, do you know what the Dewey Decimal System is?
I've heard the name.
Did you
There's
learn
like,
about it in school?
I think I did, and I don't think I listened. It's like a button process. Is that the thing where it's like a bunch of little dots? No, that's Morse code in Braille. It's
What is the
something to
Dewey
do with
Decimal
phone
System?
numbers.
Jimmie,
that
you don't
the-
know what it is?
Okay.
Oh my God.
The Dewey Decimal
How
System.
it's the system they use to organize the library.
Oh shit.
Oh, yes. I know what that is. Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
Because this guy Alex was sitting next to at the airport was like, "Oh, you're too young to know what the Dewey Decimal System is." And he was like, "What? No, I'm not." And then
Yeah,
I
'cause
asked,
we had to follow it. Would you put the book back?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I asked my almost 16-year-old nephew if he knew what it was, and he was like, "No."
How do they
don't-
turn a book in? Do you just scan it and it tells you where to put it? Or
I
do they do it for
guess
you?
probably
So,
they don't teach it anymore in Maryland. That's all I know.
is it all these letters?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and it
shit.
should. Ours had
King
numbers
Steve.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
What book is that?
Stephen
Yeah, I saw it Stephen King, but what's the
Stephen
book?
King 11/22/63. It's about the JFK assassination.
Is it good?
I haven't started it yet. But I'm sure it's great. My dad told me to read it.
It's also a show on Hulu.
Oh, I love historically based stuff.
I
So
do too.
I'm sure it'll be great.
Have
now I
you
want to
seen
go watch it.
the Watergate show about Martha?
No.
She was like the political, or she was a pop, also talked about media talking head during Watergate, and she was like leaking it to the press before anybody knew.
It's wild.
And it's a really good show. I'm not going to give it away, even though it did happen, but you guys should watch it.
Damn.
Yeah. We've been very chipper this whole episode because we posted the clip, but this episode is actually not like a chipper topic whatsoever. You've seen hints in the title and the thumbnail, most likely. We have to push our feature film to next year.
Yeah. It's rough because we've been working on it for a year, and we were supposed to launch the campaign in April, and it is now the end of July, And we've moved, we've gotten new jobs, life has changed for us in a lot of different ways. And we are just learning to be adaptable, and not be so rigid on ourselves when we thought this film was going to happen. Because we filmed the proof of concept last August, and we were planning to give ourselves a year to then film the feature.
It was
Oh.
October.
Did I say October?
You said August.
Oh, sorry, August. I mean October.
Which is
October.
weird because there's a clip of me on that set saying today is like August 22nd. It's like, what? No, it's not.
We had no thoughts in our brain. We were so busy running around. Nothing could be stored up there. It's hard to be adaptable when it's something that you've been working towards for the past year and a half almost. But we're trying to keep the integrity of the project and keep our sanity. So we decided to push it to give us more time to build a really good campaign for the season or for the crowdfunding piece of Against Us, and to give us pre-production time for the shoot in 2025.
Yeah. If you are planning to do crowdfunding for your project, give yourself double the time that you think you will need. Because when we were all still living in Huntsville, we decided, okay, April 9th is, I think it was originally March actually, but then we pushed it to April 9th.
Yeah.
And we were not even anywhere near close to being ready to launch the campaign at that time. It's not something you can just do in a week. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. You've got to make a proof of concept video to highlight what your project is, who you are, and why people should give you money. You have to fill out an entire story on your crowdfunding site that you chose. We chose Seed and Spark, on who we are, what our film is, why we're doing what we're doing, why you should donate money. And then you have to find different ways and different marketing avenues to then push your campaign for the duration of the campaign, and then pre-campaign, so you're creating buzz online. And it's just an enormity of work that takes, there's like so many pieces that go into building a really good Seed and Spark campaign for a feature film, and it just was a lot bigger than what we expected it to be.
Getting funding for a film is a completely separate project from the film itself. Yes, you're building the world and you're developing the story and creating imagery, but you have to also sell yourself and get people to have faith in you and believe in you on top of showing the story.
Incredibly hard. I just have to say, we have tried to film our proof of concept video so many times, and there were just times we were just sitting there unable to speak, because it just was like hard to articulate, all of the things that we were doing and why people should invest in us, because there was just, yeah.
It was
One of the times
it
didn't even record.
Oh,
When we did finally, we talked for what, like an hour?
was that the
Recorded maybe
first
10
time
minutes.
in Alabama?
That was in my apartment.
Oh. Yeah, we filmed that in Alabama in December, and we had to get the cables because we didn't have the cables. And then we filmed it again in April in LA at Anthony's studio that he kindly let us record at. And then we're doing it again. And yeah.
I think the silver lining in all of this, though, is that we really have figured out our messaging.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone came up to me on the street and they were like, explain it now, I would know exactly what to say.
Completely agree.
I know exactly why I'm doing this. I know exactly why it's this story, this time, right now with this crew.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, it's hard to when we were so focused on the story and the proof of concept shoot and the trailer, we didn't take the time to understand why we wanted to do this, which is, you know, hard. You have to sit with it, allow it to, you know, decompress, and then sift out like what the meaning is to you. Yeah, so we needed the time to be able to do that because we were just so overwhelmed.
We're launching the crowdfunding campaign in August now, and that's going to run for a month.
Mhm.
With our location, we cannot film in the winter. Most of our scenes involve some sort of outdoor shots. So it's just not feasible to do it in the winter. We also have to work around hunting season. So the thing that made the most sense for us was to just push it to March of next year. Why rush it?
Why rush it? It's our first feature. Like we need the time. And like I feel like rushing it is only to feed into this unattainable like goal that we set for ourselves and to, you know, put our ego aside because all of that needs to be moved to keep the integrity of the project. And if we rushed it, it just wouldn't be as good as it could be.
Yeah. And as of right now, we all are still working full time outside of HAG, outside of the podcast. So to think that, in hindsight, obviously, to think we could get all of that done is absurd.
I agree. Yeah, we were being delusional. We were on our Delulu train. Yeah, it is absurd. Yeah. And on top of the podcast, I know you said that, but like, and then acting and auditioning, yeah. Because we've got our full-time jobs that provide for us and allow us to, you know, function in the world. And then we have HAG, which is a business that we are investing in. And then we have our own personal business, which is our acting careers. So it is, yeah, we were not being realistic. Yeah. What do you feel about it, Emily?
Yeah, all of that and more. I think it's good for us to slow down and not take it as fast, like as it being our first film, because you don't want to rush the process. And getting everything together by October was so much more stressful. And like the thought of like having to launch a campaign in like a week, like we were supposed to launch it like last week, and we were like not moving that date, and then we had to move it again.
We've
But
pushed this date probably 5 times now.
yeah,
Yeah, I think every month we're pushing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's okay because I'd rather it be good than us be on set and like not have the money we need, not have everything we need, be in over our heads. I have more peace with it being in March. It's sad that we won't be shooting this year because that was like gonna be the highlight, I know, for like all of us.
I know because
But
it's been such a dead year for the industry, but it's been a great year of input and learning how to set boundaries personally and professionally, how to, you know, set a goal realistically. Yeah, it's been a
yeah, it's
great
been a
learning year.
stressful year by itself. So I think it's for the best that we're not doing it in October.
Yeah.
Because
It
we're
feels
still
like-
settling and everything.
Yeah, it feels like an interim period for us
Mhm.
because we've moved to new cities. We are taking HAG into a different direction. It feels like a period of stillness that we need to be able to sit in without trying to run and do anything we can. So I think it's going to be good for us and the project.
Yeah, because our goal this year was to not necessarily slow down, but not overstress ourselves. I think that's just what we're learning throughout this process because we are all very driven people. And I know, like, all of us, we have to be doing something every second. Like, I've always
God.
felt that. Like, I need to have a project I'm working on. I need to be auditioning every single day. I need to be doing this every day. And I've always had that mentality. And, like, that always leads to burnout. So I'm learning how to slow down. And I think, like, through our filmmaking journey with HAG, that's what we've really learned because last year we were so, like, go, go, go. We did probably a short film every month almost. We were always working on something, always doing something for others, doing a cooking show. So now we're learning, like, our goal was to not do as much as that all the time and focus on what we need.
Last year is a contributor to why we've had to slow down so much this year because at the beginning of the year we were so burnt out,
Yeah, we were.
we had to take a second and just chill. This podcast was supposed to launch in 2023.
Mhm.
Delusional.
Delusional.
But also, I wanted to point out, I don't even think this is a period of stillness. I think it's a period of building. Like we're laying the foundation right now for everything else.
Better way to, yes, you're completely right. Yeah. But laying the foundation is hard because you have to be patient and like it has to be done right to be able to hold itself up. Yeah, but it's hard to do that when what Emily said, we're ambitious and we just need to go. And I feel comforted in myself when I'm doing something all the time, and that's not sustainable.
It's hard too, especially for me, because I am not in my final location. I'm in this, I keep calling it purgatory, but I'm still in a building spot, but just being here is like kind of purgatory because I'm not where I'm. For another example of delusion, Alex and I thought we'd be up in New Brunswick by, I think our plan was to move after our first LA trip this year. So like mid-April. That's not happening. It's not.
It's expensive.
It's not even that it's expensive. We just have so much going on.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
It's just moving is a lot, as you all know very well.
How long did it take me? 3 years? How long? A long time.
Lifetime.
A lifetime. Yeah.
Literally. Yeah, it's a lot of change. And I want to like be happier when I'm doing stuff like this. And I know like in the go-go mentality, half of the time I'm like not. So I think it's good to like experience life moment by moment instead of just take on a whole pile all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the project's going to be better for it. So like anybody out there listening that is overwhelmed and is just trying to complete something because you set an unrealistic deadline for yourself or whatever the situation is, know that you can slow down and think about the outcome of the project, and that's the most important thing. And if that means giving yourself time, trying to make more money, whatever you need to do, you should listen to that and do it.
Yeah. There's 3 things about this that really excite me. Trying to look at it from an optimistic perspective. One is we can get more money. Bigger budget. Bigger budget doesn't necessarily mean better movie, but with us it does because we have our together. Yeah. Number 2, logistics. If you listen to the last episode, you know what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Number 2, we get to actually experience each step in the process. Like we're not going to be casting on the same day we're doing the shot list. Like we don't have to do everything simultaneously like we're going to have to if we shot in October.
Yeah.
Number 3, as the lead actor in the film, I have so much more time to work on this character now, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing because I'm producing and directing with you two as well. So that'd be a heavy, heavy, heavy load if we were shooting in October.
And the lead character in itself, what she goes through is extremely tumultuous, and it is a lot of character work. So that on top of directing, on top of producing, on top of crowdfunding within a couple of months is just, it's no.
It would have been chaos.
I think it could have, yeah, it would have been chaos.
It would have sent us into a giant burnout stress moment again.
And it would have hurt the project at the end. Mm-hmm. The project you would be able to tell in the outcome of against us. Yeah.
Slowing down is not the end of the world.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's hard because, as a creative, you want to be able to support yourself from your art and from, your whatever you're competent in creatively. So it is hard because you want to go so you can get into that spot where you can be able to do that. But it's better to set your life up, get a remote job, like build your life to be able to sustain this creative outlet that you're working towards. That is, I think, hard to do, but it's necessary to do this long term sustainably.
Yeah. Another thing that is hard about it for me, and I feel inclined to share this because I know so many women in this industry go through this. Alex and I had kind of a 2-year plan to have a child. And I mean, when you have a baby, inevitably things do change. Like, I know it's better now and it's easier to balance now than it was in the past, but that plan has to be pushed because we're pushing the movie. I don't want to be in labor when the film's premiering. I want to
No.
be able to get on an airplane and go wherever I need to go. And another vulnerable thing that I feel inclined to share, but it does make me a little uncomfortable. When I do get pregnant, it will be high risk.
Yeah.
And I don't fully know what that means yet. I know I'm going to have to slow down a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to go off some of my medications, which is really scary.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Um,
You do not, if you were trying to navigate against us in its post stages, going to film festivals, wherever it goes, while also dealing with a high risk pregnancy, I just think you you wouldn't be able to enjoy either one. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't be able to enjoy against us and where the success that could come from it. And then you wouldn't be able to have the time to be with Alex and your kid because you would be um, you know, pulled in either direction.
yeah, you're right. But it's also hard too, because making movies and acting, it's all I've ever wanted to do. So I'm not necessarily in a rush to try to get pregnant, but every time I get on social media, another person I grew up with is announcing that they're pregnant.
I know.
And I'm like, I've been married quadruple the time you have. So it does get frustrating. And people ask, people in our lives
People should
ask.
not ask that question. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care if you're 45 years old. Like, you should not ask somebody that question.
I
It's
know
not your business.
it's super inappropriate, and because of things I've gone through, it's like really triggering, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just,
Yeah.
and like I have a friend going through a similar situation in a different industry, but she has to go to school for like 4 more years to get into her career. And, she can't have a baby during that.
Yeah.
And then we're in our early 30s by that point, and it's everyone's questioning you and
Yeah.
you feel like you're on this timeline. And then, yeah,
You're on no other timeline other than your own. And I know that's easier for me to say, like, because I am single and like I obviously want kids, but like for me, I want to set my life up. And I know there's so many people that don't understand that, especially when you're watching people outside of this industry, have more normal looking lives than ours. That's, I think, a downside to being in the entertainment industry is your life looks different from other people's lives.
Yeah, it
And
feels like you sacrifice
you do.
life for this career a lot of the time.
Yeah. And it is hard. But I mean, you can have both. I don't think you should choose. You can definitely have both. But I just think that you just need more time. In mid 30s, early 30s is still very young. Like my mom was 39 years old when she had me. Like and technology is changing and women are having children in their 40s. Not saying that you're going to do that, but it's less scary now to wait. And I just think you would, and whatever happens happens, but I just think you would enjoy it more if you were able to give your career everything you can now, so when you are in a spot where you feel comfortable, then you could bring a child into the world and be able to balance both, because you've given the sacrifice you needed to for your career and for Hag, to then reap the benefits of that, to be with your family. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%.
But
And
it's hard to rationalize that when I mean, it's the same for me. A lot of my friends are getting married. I've got a wedding I'm going to, and like everybody asks me all the time, and I just have to like, you know, it'd be like my life is just going to look different than yours, and it is what it is. And
yeah,
you've got to respect that. Yeah.
and men obviously won't understand this. And Emily, this probably isn't happening to you yet, but like when you're at this age, and like I'm kind of even like a couple years into it, like your body really wants you to have a baby.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Girl.
Not even just that aspect. Oh God, my mom watches this, but
I literally was talking about this on Friday.
Jimmie's gonna land herself with a man.
Can we not? We gotta
stop. We gotta stop.
I saw a thigh. Please don't put this in the please cut this.
But anyway, to just kind of round that up, I'm doing what I want to be doing. I want to grow my career. I want to do that first. I want to have a solid foundation of a career beyond what I have now.
Yeah, same.
And that's always what I've wanted. It's just hard when things get pushed back and you are seeing every single person you grow up with having kids, which they've honestly been having kids since we were very young. But like
I know.
God, the married ones are having kids now.
Yeah.
I remember I had a mentor session with Sam Valentine from One Broke Actress. And we were just talking about the trajectory of a creative career. And she's in her mid 30s, and I think she's married. But she was saying that, like, is this a career that you can stick through when people's lives are so different from yours? Because I think in your 20s you're really experimental and you're trying new things, but in your 30s you're really building roots for your life. And as a woman in this career, things get pushed back, and it's hard. It is hard. It is hard to see all these people doing these normal things that we see in society, like having children, getting married, buying a house, buying a car, whatever it is, and to not do those things and to chase a career that people don't view as feasible. Yeah, it is
I've
hard.
felt that my whole life. I feel like I traded out a usual childhood and high school experience for this. And some days I regret that greatly. Mostly. But yeah, it's just
I'm
rough.
not
It's one
giving
of
you
those things. Yeah.
I'm not giving you your college experience.
No. I'm sorry, but you're not. I don't know. I've just like
I
I've
didn't
had
take you on
no
Ragers.
normal experiences. Yeah.
No, I get that.
I've had my crazy wild nights, and then I always come out of it because I'm like, I need to focus. Like I've always been work-minded focused for literally since I was 11. So it's a weird thing. You miss out on a lot of life,
Yeah, you do.
but also you're building a different life. At moments it doesn't feel worth it. Like this year I was like, damn, that was my whole life. What did I do with it? Still not where I
Yeah.
wanted to be. I'm like, you always feel behind because you're not where your goals are and where your plan is.
Yeah,
You
but
just
you have
gotta
to be
trust.
adaptable and move with it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy too with the kids situation. I remember being on a set when I was 20 years old, and these two women in their mid 20s we're having the same conversation. Like, what does it mean for me to have a kid and still be an actor? Like, I'm scared because everything I've worked for already could be taken away, which is scary. And
It's horrible.
you know, that was a long time ago now and it's just the same conversation still. And we don't hear that with men.
No, I mean, they're not affected.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah.
Well, we won't count them all out. They're affected by having a kid, I guess,
I mean,
when
they're
they're an
affected,
actor.
but it's not going to affect their
yeah, it's not
career.
the same.
It's different than being a mother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't have 9 months where they can only play a certain role or they can't work. Their appearance
even
doesn't
after.
change.
And luckily this is getting talked about more, but postpartum is brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Mhm.
And the symptoms of postpartum can last over a year,
Yeah.
sometimes longer.
Yeah, it's bad.
So it's just it's tough. It's a tough topic, and I want more people to talk about it, which is kind of why I brought it up. And I think there's also a beautiful side of it too, because when I've heard this from many, many people with children who are also actors, when you have a child, your acting completely changes for the better. Because you are going through something and have gone through something and feel all of these new things that you can't even think about how that feels before you have the child.
Yeah, the stakes are higher. Yeah, you're operating on a different plane entirely. Yeah.
And like, you have so much going on with your kid. It's like, "F- it, I'm gonna do the self-tape and I'm gonna
right? Yeah.
do it, and then I'm gonna forget about it."
Yep.
Which is what we should be doing now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's not all bad, you know. It's just scary.
It is scary. It is really scary.
This episode was a roller coaster ride. We started so chipper because we just posted, and then it got super deep. So if you're still here, thanks for coming on that ride with us. This was episode 10. Double digits.
Double digits. When you see us
She's
again, we'll be in HD potentially. But
We'll be
probably
in person.
in person.
But don't get used to it, because we don't have enough subscribers yet for me to fly across the country all the time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
peace and love. Peace and love. Yeah, we
So
do.
subscribe. Emily, where can they find us?
You can follow us at the Hags Podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and at Hag Productions on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube.
And Jimmie, where can they watch or listen?
Spotify, the Hags Podcast, YouTube, Hags Productions, and up in the pipeline. She's coming around the corner. It's gonna happen. Apple Podcast, the Hags Podcast.
And follow us at Against Us Movie on Instagram.
Yes. Yes.
Good plug.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for watching or listening or both. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.